And just like cop giving you a ticket, that was just one example of anything in life where your energy and their energy, it's already preconditioned and predetermined. Like the dog biting someone who's scared but doesn't bite the guy who's not scared. Now, on Discovery Channel, I think it was, I can't remember where it was, but on television they had a film of a guy in a shark cage. And a shark came up to this cage underwater. The guy freaked out, came out of the cage and attacked the shark, freaked the shark out, and the shark swam away. How's that? How's that? And that is an example of exactly what I'm talking about. Now, let's get right down to warrior hypnosis and mental warfare secrets. I've given you a pretty solid foundation. You'll want to go back and review it. You'll want to go back and listen again over and over. You should listen every day for a good week. Really get it in you. Just get it in you. Listen over and over and over again until it gets into the subconscious. Remember that success is, what do they say? Repetition is the mother of success, right? Repetition over and over and over and over. Getting beyond memory. In other words, singers, they first learn a song and they stumble, maybe they need the lyrics out there, but after they've been singing it for years, they can sing in their sleep, right? Then they don't have to worry about it, and then they can flow and dance and jump around because they're not remembering what the lyrics were. You see? They can, and they can add to it or take away from it, change it, and then you get the brilliance of a live performance, which is neat, seeing some of your favorite artists perform live and the variations they do. Otherwise, it would just be boring and monotonous, just like listening to the CD, right? So you can get into that flow. So listen over and over again. Let's talk about trust. You need to build rapport, and rapport is trust. Okay? In other words, you need to be natural. If you're not natural, you're going to have a very difficult time influencing anyone, mind controlling anyone. This is mental warfare. It's got to seem natural. Okay? Now, authority seems natural. There's a presumed thing when there's authority. When someone comes in or a celebrity walks in a room, most of us assign our energy to their authority, whether it's a government official or a movie star, right? Oh, look, there's Brad Pitt. Oh, can you believe he's eating here at this restaurant? See what I'm saying? And I never respond like that. And out of the dozens of celebrities that I've met, it's just no different to me than meeting the plumber. He's coming over to fix the sink. Absolutely no different at all. When you no longer respond emotionally, when you're a warrior, you know that really those things don't matter. That nothing of that matters. And I'm judging people only by character and ability. Character, in other words, are they do they have good character? What are their intentions? And then ability, meaning, do they have the ability to do what I need them to do? If a plumber has good character, but he's incapable of fixing my sink, then I judge him as you're out the door and you're not getting paid. Okay? So there's got to be both character and ability. And that's often the problem with a lot of the churches today. They just pound character in you and then 10 commandments over and over. Don't steal, don't lie, don't this, don't. So you get someone who might have a decent moral character, but they have no ability. What can I do and how can I do it? That's what's missing out there. And so it's very important that you're natural. Unconsciously natural. Just natural. Because people, they get put off by someone who's too pushy, or someone who's a little too leery, or someone who's a little just too leering. So in whatever you want for mind control to influence other people, you've just got to be natural and learn how to be natural. Okay? Now, if I come up to Pamela Anderson and she's buck naked on a TV set, okay, it'd be no different to me than coming up to the plumber and shaking hands. Now, I'm a red-blooded male. I'm attracted to beautiful women. Why wouldn't it be any different to me? Because I've learned control of my senses. Now, because I've learned control of my senses, I have no emotional response. Thus, control is not transferred to the target, say Pamela Anderson. Does that make sense? So what happens is, she's used to men salivating and their IQ dropping 10 points right on the spot, and said, there is something magical about this guy, her programming. In other words, she's not going into ticket writing mode because I'm not going into ticketed mode. Do you see the analogy I'm making from the previous example? So by learning warrior control of your senses, you become a magnet where you don't even have to say a word, and people will come your way and do what you want. You would be amazed because energies out there are weak. You'll notice that many of the famous and rich often self-destruct. Even success doesn't do it. You've got to have that warrior spirit, and that is the only thing, and people are looking for strong leadership. We're all energy, and so when they see a stronger energy, they'll want to follow it. There's something comfortable about that. That's why most people are sheeple, most people are peasants, following a stronger energy, whether it's a government or a political movement or a political party or an idea, a pop culture way of thinking. Most people are peer dependent, status conscious consumers. In other words, peasants. So don't raise your children that way. The greatest gift you can give yourself and your children is to have the warrior mindset and be objective thinkers. That's very rare in this day and age. You're getting it here. You listen to this over and over, begin to understand it, you'll start to apply it. So getting back to Building rapport and trust. It's got to be natural and unconscious. It's not affected. You ever notice when someone is faking it or they're phoning it in, you can tell they don't really mean it, or they're going through their spiel, their salesman spiel, and you just goodbye, you hang up or you walk away. Can I help you? No. Okay? And it's just old. And they're trained, salesmen are trained to ask personal questions. Oh, you're from around here? How long have you lived here? Say the car salesman. I was out driving new cars a while back, and the guy started asking, well, are you from around here? Where are you from? Da-da-da-da. All these questions get you talking about yourself, and they're trained to do that. Why? Well, it's good training. I mean, it's not nearly as good as the training you're getting from me now, but it's good training in that it gets people talking about themselves, and most people feel relief talking about themselves. I'm quite the opposite. I remain silent or flip it back on them. How long you lived around here? For a while. How about you? And where are you from? So you flip the tables. Boom, boom. Or I'll just say, look, drop it. Let's not get to be bosom buddies here. I'm just here to buy a car. Okay? Don't waste my time. All right? Not being rude. But let's get back to that. So being natural. So if you have control of your senses and you're unaffected by your target. Now, I picked Pamela Anderson as an example. Never met her, but a very popular image that you can probably picture. So let's say that's your target. I would come up and just couldn't care less. Totally unaffected. See, as if you're walking up meeting the plumber. Hey, the plumber's here to fix the sink. Hey, how's it going? My name's Joe. Hey, Joe, I'm Andrew. Here's the broken kitchen sink right over here. You know what I mean? There's no, as where if you came up to Pamela Anderson with her perfume on, buck naked, and your senses, can you control your senses to that degree? The degree to which you can control your senses is to the degree which you will have magnetic mind control power over other people. Don't ever forget that. So train yourself to control your senses and your emotional responses. That alone, if you just got that right now, threw away these CDs and sent me 10 grand, and got that and really understood that, you and sent me 10 grand as a thank you, you'd be writing me letters every year telling me just how wonderful and how blessed how great it was, and be willing to send me 10 grand every year. Why? Because you cry tears of joy. If you can do that, that sets you apart from practically the entire rest of civilization. Being totally natural, unconscious, and unaffected. Control of my senses, nothing. My throat doesn't get through, my voice doesn't crack. Oh my God, oh, she's so beautiful. Oh, no, nothing like that. So I don't care if I haven't eaten in a week, okay, and I'm desperately trying to get this sale. I'll put out a desperate energy, okay? Ticketed writing mode. So Pamela Anderson's used to that response. It gives her power, doesn't it? Most beautiful women, they get a power off of that response. Men respond. They salivate, their IQ goes down. They want to please her. They want to protect her. They want to charm her. It's all biology. So when this guy comes up and he's just a samurai, all of a sudden there's a transfer of control. And she's intrigued. What is it about this guy? Why isn't he swarming around me like bees to a hive? Why, you see? And I've actually used that to attract beautiful women, to attract clients. It's frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. But it's not a fake, Clark Gable. It's not a fake thing. Because if you act disinterested, well, they know that's an act. They just sense it. It's all subconscious. Energy reading is all subconscious. And when you can step into subconscious energy reading, as I'm showing you how, here and now, you can just step right in, like stepping into a room where there's newspapers on the walls and just start reading the newspaper. I mean, you can read it. It's instant. People don't know that they're doing that all the time. Remember, number one, we're always putting out energy. So it has to be totally natural. Totally natural. If you're faking it, they'll sense it. How do you get natural? Well, that's the next step.